Hey guys, and welcome back to By Any Means Necessary. Thank you for all your messages that you sent me, and a special thanks to everybody who has signed up to my channel. I feel so blessed to have so many people that have signed up, and I thank you so much for that. I will go through your messages, right, and I'll answer as many as I can, but I will definitely like all of your messages. We're going to start off with like a little bit of an American politics, right? I don't know if you saw the dress worn by AOC, right? AOC, she's like an American politician, Alexander Cortez, something like that. I know I've just messed it up, right? But Alexander Ocasio Cortez, think that's it, right? But she wore a dress last night, yeah. That strangely enough, I don't think that any of our female politicians could actually wear and look as well as she did in it, right? But one of the things is, yeah, that one of the best things to come out of Donald Trump, yeah, was was these three politicians, yeah, that Donald Trump, he called them the squad, right? Because what they do is what right wingers do is they give like they always give like the left wing names, right? So that it's a thing that the left wing never ever take up. The left is just like, oh yeah, we'll just carry on calling him by his professional name, right? Whereas like Boris Johnson would like Captain Hindsight, right? Yeah, and it's the same thing Donald Trump does to people on the left who he knows, right, are going to be a problem for him, right? So these three female politicians, yeah, they basically became politicians because of Donald Trump, right? Because I think one or two of them was barmaids or something like that, right? But they became politicians, yeah, and now they are the most progressive politicians in the world. Right? Trust me, in the world, and what they're trying to do is they're just trying to hold them back. But you see, last night, yeah, I don't know what. Yeah, it must be probably last night because it's on the front pages this morning. Right? But she wore a dress, yeah, that says "tax the rich." And what the fuck is wrong with that message? I hear you ask, right? Because that's the fucking message, isn't it? Really? What the fuck are they taxing us for? What are they coming after the working classes for? Hmm? What the hell have we got to give them? Right? But these people will always protect the rich, right? But when you've got progressive politicians like like AOC and the other and the other two that right, then especially when they get voted in, right? You see, I will always tell you, yeah, one of Jeremy Corbyn's biggest problems, yeah, was when you're a politician, yeah, and you've got the right message, right, then whoever wants to interview you, right, you should be interviewed by them. You see, in America, yeah, Bernie Sanders, right, I see Bernie Sanders just go on Fox News one day, right, and he had them all clapping on there, Bernie Sanders. He smashed them to pieces. Because you know why? Because his message is right. Yeah, and that's the thing, right? The right wing and the far right, they just sell the message in a different way. But once they hear the message from a proper progressive left wing, then they understand, yeah, that actually, we're fighting against ourselves. Because the Republicans are doing exactly the same thing as the Conservatives are doing over here. Do you know what I mean? But again, right, you see, Joe Biden, yeah, remember, right, is also one of them because Joe Biden is from the upper classes, right? So they know that, what, Joe Biden can come into power and he can keep a steady ship, right? But if it was Bernie Sanders now, then you would have seen a complete difference. Then you would have seen, they would have really gone for him. Do you know what I mean? So that's why they could never have allowed Bernie Sanders, right, to become the president, right? But Joe Biden, for them, Joe Biden is just going to steady the ship, and he's just going to keep it. He's not going to do anything that's over radical, nothing at all that's over radical. Do you know what I mean? So that's why. So that's why they have allowed him to, right? So if you look at our situation over here now, it's the same thing, isn't it? Right? Tax the motherfucking rich. What you taxing us for? What the hell have we got? What the hell have we got for you? Do you know what I mean? But that's what these people do. They come after us, right? You see how they brought in the new, they brought in their new tax, a new national health service tax, right? Do you know what? Yeah, I've got a novel idea. I don't know, just a novel idea. But how about, right? We use the receipts, right, that come in for the NI, right? Because we all pay national health, right? So if they was to take that money, right, and put that money, I don't even know. I don't even know how much it comes to, but I know that when these people are talking about, oh, we're putting this amount into, hold on a minute, say, hold on. But you must know exactly what the national health receipts are. You've got to know. They've got to know those figures, right? So they must know exactly what those figures are, right? So that money should be going into the tax, right, for the NHS. Right? It's quite simple, right? Because they shouldn't really need to form a new tax. Because what's going to happen with the new tax, what they're forming, yeah? They're telling you now, oh no, what we're going to do is going to circle it to make sure that it goes for this. No, it's not going. That's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. No, it's not going to happen. And if you're stupid enough to believe it is going to happen, then you're stupid. And I have a bridge over the Thames that I would like to sell you. Right? That's not going to happen. All that's going to happen is going to go into one big pot again, because that's what happens now. Right? The money that we pay in for national health, right, just goes into the pot, right, with the normal tax, with the tax money that comes in from everywhere else, goes into one pot, and then the government decide, well, we're going to disperse this like this. But that's how it shouldn't be done. The NI is there, so those NI receipts, right? I'm quite sure, yeah, that is probably more than enough, right, to run the NHS. I'm quite sure it is, right? I'm quite sure it is, right? More than enough, right? But the way how they do it, yeah, just one big pot, and then, right, they get us involved and say, oh yes, what we're doing is we're putting this amount into the into. Say, what the fuck are you telling me for? That's your fucking business. Why are you telling me? They're telling us, they tell us these things, yeah, so that we can all look and say, well, you know what, I don't want to put this into, I don't want to put this in. Do we really have a choice in where any money is spent in this country? Do we have a choice? Right? We don't have a choice. Right? Just in the same way, yeah, we never had a choice. We don't have a choice on anything, right? When it comes down to it, we have no choice. What choice do we get? Right? We can't tell them where money is supposed to be spent. Right? They just take the money and spend it where they want. Right? And then right, to get us fighting amongst each other, they tell us, oh well, we're putting an extra 3 billion into the NHS, and that gets us talking amongst ourselves about it. The fuck's it got to do with us? Got nothing to do with us. You just make sure the NHS is running properly. Yeah, and under the Tories, the NHS has been running fucked up. Right? From since they've come in, right, they've defunded it. Right? That's what they've done. They've defunded it. Just like they've defunded the police, right? And all them things there. They've defunded everything. Right? But they're telling us how much money they're putting into this shit and all this. Yeah, what the fuck? What the hell has that got to do with us? Right? It's got to do with us. It's got nothing to do with us. You know what I mean? Right? But these people, I'm telling you, right, they do it to make sure, right, that, they say, oh, well, we're sending all this money to foreign aid. Yeah? What are you telling me for? They're telling us, right, so we fight amongst each other. We're like, oh, I don't want no money spent for foreign aid. Why can't we do the people that are over here? Right? People sleeping on the street. None of these people have ever been interested in any of these people who are sleeping on the street. Until you mention foreign aid. You mention foreign aid, and straight away these people are like, oh yeah, oh well, we should keep money here, right, and look after the people over here. That's what we should do, isn't it? Yeah, as if they care. As if they care. They'd walk past them on the street, right? They wouldn't even flick them a penny. Right? But the minute you mention foreign aid, yeah. And you see, if you don't want boat people, then you know what? You have to make sure that people are comfortable within their own countries. Make sure they've got fucking running water. Okay? That's the type of shit you've got to make sure. Make sure that people are being educated in their own countries. If you want people to stay in their own countries. That's what foreign aid is all about. Right? And I'm speaking to the Brexiters because I know you don't understand that shit. But that's what foreign aid is all about. Right? The boat people that you guys have unleashed on us. Right? Are coming over because somehow the West has fucked up in their countries. Somewhere along the line, the West has interfered in their countries, right? And that's the reason why these people have to flee. Right? How the hell would you like to live somewhere that don't have running water? Oh, hold on a minute. Hold on. Sorry. Soon we'll be living in a country that don't have fucking running water because our rivers are being polluted with raw sewage. Yeah? Another Brexit bonus. But as I said, that's the reason for things like foreign aid and them things there, right? It's to try and make people comfortable within their own countries, so that they don't need to come start traveling around the rest of the world to go and live. When they travel around the rest of the world, it's to go on holiday, just like we do, right? You know. Okay, look. So let's talk about some Brexit, right? Because I've seen I see a report from Somerset. I believe that Jacob Rees-Mogg is one of the MPs from down there, but they seem to be having a bit of problems getting people to pick up their refuge. Right, apparently they've lost a whole heap of drivers, right? Quite a few drivers that drive obviously the refuge trucks, right? So at the moment, right, they was using agency staff, but I think all the agency staff have been eaten up now as well, because obviously a driver is a very sought after thing now. Right, especially like your heavy goods vehicle drivers, right? Once you've got that license, that's it. You can command some big money now, yeah. But unfortunately, we ain't got enough of them, right? So, because on an agency, yeah, when these people go to an agency, I don't know, but you're looking at like probably 35, 45 pound an hour, right? That's how these people are spending your tax money, okay? That's how they're spending it, right? They're spending it pumping up the system with agency staff, okay? And agency staff costs a whole heap of money. But I guarantee you, guaranteed, right, that a lot of Tory MPs, right, have got shares in a lot of these agencies. Trust me on this, because that's how this shit works, okay? That's how it works, right? So yeah, so I was using agency staff, yeah, in Somerset, but right, I think they've run out of agency staff now, because I think they've probably all been taken up as well by because when the big boys step in, that's it, right? No one else can afford to pay these guys what the big boys can afford to pay them, right? So now a lot of the managers have got the managers out driving the guys who have been promoted over the years, right? So who was working in the offices, so now they're out right, driving some of the refuge trucks, which is probably a job that they've never thought they'd have to go back to, right? But now they have, and so that's probably down to the last defence now. Do you know what I mean? Where the managers are out driving the trucks. Do you know what I mean? That's probably down to like, so if anything happened to any of the managers now, because remember, obviously if the managers are driving them trucks, then they've also got that license, right? Which means that they can be tempted too. Right? That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? So it's going to be a whole heap of problems down there. Do you know what I mean? Because this is the problem that we're facing. Yeah, after you fucking idiots went and voted for fucking this disgusting, stupid ass, racist Brexit. This is the problem that we're facing, right? Because now we've got European drivers, yeah, who don't want to come here, right, to deliver a load. They don't want to come here. On the back of trucks in Europe, they've got like, we no longer go to the UK. That's what's driving around on the back of a lot of the trucks. Because you see, the problem is this. This is what the problem is. I'll tell you what the problem is. Right, is when they come over, and obviously they come through, right, Dover or whatever, right, and they deliver their loads, right? On a normal basis, yeah, they just got a couple of miles up the road or whatever and pick another load up to take back with them, right? But now they can be stuck in customs, okay, with that load, because that load now has to be checked. It's more so on the other side of the water. It's definitely going to be checked on the other side of the water, because obviously it's coming from here and we're a third country. So that load's got to be checked going through there, right? Whereas before, it could have just went straight through, right? So now what's been happening is these guys, yeah, have been going back with like an empty truck, but obviously still getting held up on our side, right? But you know, obviously, if you've got an empty truck, you can just drive through on the other side, right? Now, there ain't no companies, yeah, who want to send a truck over and it come back empty, right? Because you know, it takes a lot of fuel, right, to run these lorries, right? Some of these things are £500 to fill up, right? And there's no way, right, that you want to be travelling all that way, right, with nothing in the back of the lorry, right? You know, companies can't afford to do that. They can't afford to do that, right? So now we've been cut off from a lot of companies in the EU. We've been cut off from a lot, right? And a lot of the things that we've got on the shelves now, yeah, will probably be things what they may have been storing, right, in warehouses for now, right? So a lot of these things are going to start to run out properly, right? Because these trucks, yeah, they cost, and then plus the driver. The driver don't want to be sitting down in customs for 2 or 3 days. They don't want that shit, right? So this is what you Brexiters, yeah, have done to this country, and you've fucked it up proper, right? So these guys, they don't want to come here. They're not going to come here. What they're coming here for, right? What they're coming here for, right? Nobody, right, wants to send an empty. Somebody wants to run an empty lorry, right? It costs too much money, far too much money. So they don't want to do it. Right? I hope that Jacob Rees-Mogg, because I believe that they vote is, I think it was 52 or 54%, which we now know is not really that high, with considering some of the rest. Right? Because we've got some towns and cities that are some racist motherfuckers up in there, right? So it was 52 or 54% they voted in Somerset, right, for them not to have no refuge collection. But obviously, you know, places like that are going to be hit really hard, because you know they'll be running out of their restaurants and their pubs will be running out of beverages, right? Because they won't be able to, they won't be able to have the supermarket. As I said, the supermarkets and all the other real big boys are just going to eat up all the drivers, take them all, right? Because you'll be, if you're a driver, you'll be crazy, right? If you've got the right license, you'd be crazy not to go and, to go and cash in on that. You might as well. You might as well. Do you know what I mean? So this is the thing. So, we just have to, with the whole Brexit, right? The Times is going to get really punishing now. It's going to get really, really, really punishing, right? Because I know a lot of these managers, yeah, who are out driving these lorries. I bet a lot of them to vote for Brexit. Better not vote for Brexit, and now they're out driving lorries, which they never thought they'd be doing again. But that's what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? I bet you a lot of them voted for Brexit, and it served their ass right, because they voted for this shit. Do you know what I mean? And things is only set to get so much worse, crippling. Right? They're already telling us. They're already telling us. It looks like your Christmas is going to be a little bit fucked up. They're already telling us that. Yeah, it won't be for them. Yeah, because remember these guys here. Most of them will just fly out anyway. Just fly out and they're just gone. Do you know what I mean? Because although they will tell you, there's driver shortages all over the world. Everyone's got driver shortages. The EU need 400,000 drivers. Yeah, but we need 90,000, and they're 27 or 28 countries, and we're just one, right? And we need close on 100,000. I said 90. We need close on 100,000. Okay, so they're just trying to, they're just lying again, just lies. Right? Why are we the only one who have got food shortages? Why would the only one who have got shortages of chemicals to clean out to clean out water? Why would the only one of or our doctors can't order blood tests? Why is that only happening to us? Hmm? That's only happening to us. They're telling us about driver shortages all over the world, but no one else ain't got a food shortage. But as I said, for them, they don't need to worry because you know what? Most of them will just go. Most of them will just go off anyway. Yeah, to the Caribbean or something like that for Christmas, right? And and just stay and just have a nice Christmas dinner in their fancy hotels, right? While we're over here in the motherfucking cold, right? That's for us. That's standard procedure, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, gotta wrap this up now. Yeah, I'm GMT John Ribbs. This is By Any Means Necessary. Comments below. It's really nice to speak to you guys.